Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we're having coffee in my beautiful moon mug because this is a very, very full moon, super moon, super powerful, and it's shining light on shadows hugely, and it makes it rough on us in many ways, and most people who do not follow the moon and understand what's going on in that energy that is affecting them are just in reaction. That's why so many crazy things happen on the full moon and people become lunatics at times. This one is going to magnify that energy even more. So this is very much a time of inward releasing what's coming up, or the shadows, the things about ourselves we believed, the powerlessness, the inability to shift things, that we need to be different than we are, old habits of beliefs about ourselves. And they're surfacing now to have the light shown on them for us to release. And so that is what the full moon energy is very good for, is releasing. The people right now that are going to be most affected by this full moons are Aquarians, Leos, and Virgos. This moon is in those signs. And so, as some of us are aware, those are the signs that are going to receive the most infusion of energy. That can be lovely and empowering, or it can be a bit debilitating at times. So, the shadows coming up are those things that we want to intend to release. Write them down today as things come up. These, this I speak of what I know because this is where I've been. Had a lovely weekend, and it was all a lovely weekend. Inside, there was definitely old patterns of belief and old struggles that I was working with as I participated, and it was just a great deal um, of lovely people and lovely times happening, fun, games, nature, all of it, and I felt very unconnected, um, not like I didn't belong. So this was a different feeling. I mean, it wasn't a bad feeling at all until I got home. then the shadows came up, but it was definitely, I felt apart from the goings on. Like I just wasn't connected. And like I said, it didn't feel bad. It just was. And then when I got home, all the shadows started presenting themselves to me, all the old stories, the mean girl that shows up regularly. All of it was a challenge, and is a challenge, an ongoing challenge. My and the stories I invent and make up inside my head are just ridiculous, really. But all of that has led to that understanding. We want to hold the understanding that this is for us, particularly right now. That old stuff that says we're not enough, we're not smart enough, tall enough, bright enough, skinny enough, fat enough, whatever our not enough is about, is strong right now. So it is up for us to choose to release. So write it down. And this does come in steps. Rarely have I had any results where I did it and then it was gone. Things went in layers. They're going to come out in layers. But this is a great fueled extra time of energy supporting us in releasing. So choose to release that big thing that has been plaguing you. Mine, when I get this feeling of not being enough for whatever reason, because it happens quite regularly, uh, well, not as regularly as it used to. And I have to say, but I want to run. In my head, I leave. I leave my family. I go find somewhere to hide, to hibernate, to just lick my wounds. And none of them are the cause. Some of them can be a catalyst, but they, again, when we stand in our power, we then can choose to look at these times of difficulty as what is to be released, and that what's coming up is what you can release now. So choose that. Let's look at what Creator, God, the universe has for us in the reading today. The mythical goddess tarot is the one that came up, and the first one is the crone. And when I read these, was like, well, of course, these are the ones that came up. The crone of resurrection. Obviously, this is a rebirth. This is a time where we are rebuilding and becoming new, and just we can choose to shift the things within us that no longer support our truth, our narrative. At one point they did, and we believe them, we've carried them through, and that makes it a bit challenging. So what does that look like? The crone of resurrection. The sea crone appears during powerful times of release and shift in your life. Let her lead the way through the murky depths of your personal underworld into the resurrection of your heart and expression. Welcome the change and the renewal that is upon you. Again, birth, the third stage of the birth process, is always the most difficult. It's the one every woman says, I can't do this. This is too hard. We are entering into the world as a world into this. It's going to get a lot more painful for a while. And personally, we are entering into a rebirth, this time of birthing ourselves from this old way of being to a new way of looking at ourselves. The next card that came up was Kuan Yin and the Empress. And this is all about power, inviting you to open the pure stream of love and compassion that is always available. Her invitation is to yield your heart fully, that you may receive her blessing and in return bless others. She's full of compassion and mercy. She has promised to stay on the earth until every creature alive has attained enlightenment. The supreme goddess of China, she holds the healing waters of Amrita in her vase and the willow branch of compassion. So, and this is all about you learning how to live in compassion for yourself when you're less than what you think you should be, when you're not, your belief systems are coming up that you're just not enough for what is in front of you. Physically, these full moons can cause sleeplessness, which then makes it harder to concentrate and focus, increased pain, increased discomfort physically. And then again, they can be very igniting for relational issues because our shadows are coming up. And when our shadows, which is what was there this weekend, again, it was lovely. And it was an enjoyable time because everyone was having so much fun and the grandkids were having a good time. There were little kids that weren't my grandkids that I would gladly claim as grandchildren, just absolutely adorable. And I just felt removed from it. I was the observer, which was lovely, but not exactly how I wanted to play this weekend. But it was lovely. It was the celebration of my oldest daughter's 40th birthday. And it really was just so ingenious and so lovely in so many ways. And I did get to get out along the river quite often and just enjoy that and really just drink that in. So maybe that's why I didn't feel so dropped, so shadowy, so dark in all of it, because I had some of my happiest places in that whole process that kept me in that higher vibration. As we left it and I got home and just, sitting in the living room, just after we'd unpacked and put things away, it was just that, the heaviness. And when I woke up this morning, the heaviness. I mean, it is within us to do the work we want to do in the world. We have to allow the world to work with us, and we have to allow ourselves the grace that we give to other people that we withhold from ourselves a great deal. The last card that came up was the world. And the truth is, this is very much, and maybe that's why I held a higher vibration while I was there, because I had Gaia with me. I was in the elements a lot and sitting with her and grounding and just being, part of the water, and all of that helped me stay out of the depths of the shadows that I, dropped into later on when we were gone from all that loveliness. And the world is also that. The world is at your fingertips. It's wide open. There's a great deal of love, and joy, and peace available to you in the world, and power. When we lose the shadows, when we really work to shed the beliefs that spawn the shadows, then we can own the truth of who we are in this world, the greatness that we can be, and the beauty, and all of that in the unfolding of things. So this full moon really is shedding light. It's a super moon. It's 80,000 miles closer to us, which means its energy pull on us is stronger. And again, we're 73% water. It moves the ocean tides. Why would we be so arrogant to think that it does not move the tides within us? And so treat yourself with kindness. Sit and pay attention to what you're really feeling, what is weighing you down right now, what that looks like inside you. Write those down to be released. What are the belief systems you're holding? Mine is always not enough. It comes up again. And this weekend, watching everyone, and just, I knew all of the people there. Lovely, lovely people. And watching them all have fun together with the kids, watching the dogs work out their stuff, lots of dogs, a couple of them less than welcoming to others. So there was a working out of stuff. But oh my gosh, to be in the midst of all that joy and love for my daughter was very lovely, and a privilege to see what she had created in this world, and what I'd created through her in this world. I do get to take some credit for that. I did get to bring her through into this world, and help her to be the amazing young woman she has become. So know that relationships right now could be very challenging. Interrelational dialogue can be hard. Might not be the best time to air your grievances unless you can do them with compassion and kindness. And when we're in reactivity, it's a little bit hard to do that. Your truth does need to be said, but timing is often key. You may want to hold some of these things, write them down for when you can speak with less reactionism, because reaction is really what's fueling what's going on in the world, and it needs to happen. I briefly saw something last night about China's youth rebelling, and in Bangladesh they're rebelling. We're going to see more of that. There are people protesting in London, in England, on the streets, protesting what's going on. We're going to see more of that here. I'm sure the next couple of months are going to be incredibly crazy. We want to get into the habit of grounding ourselves, managing our own vibration, managing our own energy, and allowing the goodness that we are to be seen by us. We need to see that. It can't really get out into the world from us unless we can truly own it and see it. So we have to do the shadow work, find out what it is we're choosing to release, and as well as what are you intending for the next few months in your life. One of the things I've been working on doesn't look like it's working very well. It's getting a little harder for me to imagine and create in my head this thing that I want to create. But I'm going to doggedly do some daydreaming about it today, and how wonderful the feeling that goes with it is when these things succeed. So go to the truth of who you are first. Write down what your shadows have been bringing up for you, and write down the intentions for what you want to create over the next few months, and burn them at some time this evening, even if it's in your kitchen sink for safety, whatever that looks like for you. Let it go, release it back to the universe and down into Mother Earth and the ash. Get out in nature as much as you can the next couple days. Ground, let Mother Earth help you. Be gentle and kind to yourself, And know that all of this is part of it. The resurrection, it is never, rebirths are not necessarily easy. So allow you the grace you would give someone else going through this same challenging time in the world and in their own life and in themselves. If someone has lashed out at you, do your best to give them the grace and forgiveness that's going to free you. The unforgiveness, the resentment doesn't help anyone, doesn't affect anyone but you. You are the one that has that energy within you, and you are the one it is working on. So you might want to consider a different way of acting and responding to painful things. I speak to myself here because a couple of painful things were said or done, and it really was, again, it wasn't them, it's my reaction to it. It is what it, produced in me, and what it brought up in me was some of the old energies that are up for release again. So yay for the shadows that are coming up. They are to be released. That's you standing in your power, allowing yourself the understanding that we can't release what we don't know is there. And so do your thing tonight, release them in some kind of ceremony, and allow yourself to be okay with all of who you are. You can release the old beliefs and accept you for the way you are at all given times. So that is the full moon reading on this beautiful, beautiful day ahead. Take some deep breaths, bring some love into yourself, raise your vibration by shedding pure love and joy on anything, because this is all about you. It will benefit whatever you're sending it to. So if you can give the government some grace, the leaders some grace, the land some grace, shed pure love and joy on those. Whatever you feel compelled to. This is all about you raising your vibration. Remember, though, you want to get to that place of love in your heart, that feeling, that heart swelling feeling, and send it out to the world, because until you're there, it is just words and it isn't as effective. So do your self work, shed pure love and joy, raise your vibration so that you're sharing a higher vibration, and release the shadows that are coming up for you right now, telling you you're not enough. We are complete for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.